Thank you, Chairman. My mother, who oftentimes many of you have heard of, was here for about an hour, had to leave, but really grateful that she was here. As you know, she brought me here. She was pregnant when she crossed that border, and her daughter today is a member of Congress. So I wanted to make sure that she was in committee. Chairman, I want to thank you and Ranking Member and the witnesses that are here today for being here. And you know, I heard one of my colleagues say, look, the number one job for our officers is to put the bad people away, right? Not just the bad guys, because guys, girls, it could be anyone, and to protect our communities and make our communities safe. I agree with that. And after I've heard so many of your testimonies, it's clear to me that we all agree that we must strategically invest in community safety. I believe community safety is bigger than policing because it requires long-term preventive solutions with professionals that are trained in multiple disciplines, and that working together, officers and other trained professionals were able to address the root cause of violence. For years now, law enforcement has increasingly become the first responder and primary way that we address systemic problems. For example, increased global instability resulting in unprecedented numbers of refugees needing urgent resettlement support, as Sheriff Chapman mentioned occurred in London County, to unaddressed issues that undermine school safety, as Deputy Commissioner Mays noted, is a priority in Tennessee. We have overburdened our public servants with tasks and crises that they're not equipped to confront, which makes them and our communities, right, less safe. And I believe as we're talking about where we are in this precise moment, I think we can restore balance in public safety ecosystem by investing in initiatives that allow professionals to respond to the crisis that they were trained to confront, not mental health crisis. President Bryant, I appreciate you noting how public health and safety require a comprehensive, non-judgmental, pragmatic, evidence-based approach that includes violence prevention measures. So I wanted to ask you, how would increasing the role of community members, healthcare providers, and other trained professionals in public safety response affect police departments?
Thank you so much. Public safety is the responsibility of all citizens involved. And so when and I agree that law enforcement, primarily police, are typically the first responders to almost every given incident, which overburdens the profession. But allowing the community to play a significant part is very beneficial to what we do. Incorporating other professions in what we do, as stated in the space of mental health, I think will help us tremendously.
Thank you, Mr. Bryant. You know, Chicago, I represent, I believe, one of the greatest cities in the world, Chicago, and it's been working to right-size the role of police. It's been redesignating some of the overwhelmingly amount of public health and service work delegated to the police department back to community partners and trained professionals. The Chicago Police Department reported that in 2019, its officers had to respond to over 40,000 calls with a mental health component of some case. And it's generated, obviously, deep frustration among officers who feel that they're required to respond to social and medical problems for which they're not trained, and that mental health systems should be managing those instead. So to address this, Chicago has started a treatment, not trauma pilot that has counselors responding to 911 mental health calls instead of having to call the police. And one organization using this model has reported that they have not needed police presence for over 94% of those calls. That means that those officers that would have had to respond to those calls can actually address the issues of crime, of violence. And because of community intervention programs, my own district has seen a 50% reduction in shootings and homicides. So as I think about that, and I think about our officers, one of the things that I want us to think about is how do we make sure that you have the resources you need, the partners you need to do this work, and that you are able to put the bad guys and the bad women behind bars while focusing on also protecting our communities. That's why, to me, as we talk about Police Week, I want to make sure that we continue to incorporate community policing and partnerships so that we do what we all care about: reduce crime and have communities that are safe. With that, Chairman, I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back.